November was the month that November tried me. Hey loves, so I'm back with the second part of my video. If you haven't seen my first part, I'm going to leave the link so you can go back and watch that and then come back here to finish up with this. So again, my name is Asada. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy all the content that I will be bringing to my channel. And I hope you guys, over time as I get better with this, that, I can help others in multiple ways, or, just with anything, with advice, or, laughter, or just anything. So let's get started. So this video is going to be about my weight loss journey up until I decided to get weight loss surgery, and then what I've been going through since I made the decision to get VSG surgery and everything that I have been going through since then. So let's go back. So in high school, from 8th grade up to high school, I always was a size 14. Never really knew my weight. I couldn't tell you how much I weighed, but I was always a size 14. I had my son in 2006. I was still in high school. And by 2007, I was close to a size, like I gained, weight. I went up to, I think, like a size 16 with my son, maybe almost close to 18. Excuse me. But then in 2007, I was down to basically almost a size 12. Unfortunately, in June of 2007, I ended up moving into a group home due to other circumstances. Maybe one day I'll talk about them. We'll see. That could be a story time. But I ended up in a group home, and that's kind of where my weight gain started. We had a curfew. I went to school during the day, picked up my son in the afternoon, and we had to be back at the group home by 4:30. It was me and 5 other ladies, and we each had 1 child. So, once we got back in, we just chit-chat, ate dinner. After we ate, we would just do nothing. Basically, we would watch the end of the song at the end of Shrek with the kids every night after dinner, do that, and then we'd go over in our rooms and we would just chill out and do nothing. So we wasn't very active. In by December of 2007, I know that I was a size 16, pushing it maybe up to 18. And then I remember in June, because we started telling them, we gained weight when we come in here, we wanted to do something about it, maybe take walks or something. And they had brought a nutritionist in, and I remember I weighed myself, and this was June of 2008, and I was 225. I really can't, I guess I would say I was probably still a 16, 18, because I'll gain and then I'll stay a certain size. That's has always been, yeah, so I gain and kind of stay the same. So by December of 2008, I got my own apartment, and by March of 2009, I was pregnant. I had a boyfriend, but I was with him for a while, but so March 2009, I ended up pregnant with my second son, and then I got gained weight with that pregnancy. came with that pregnancy, and I remember I went to the doctor, and I was like, and she said to me, like, oh, you need to cut down on the fries and stuff. And I'm like, I don't even eat stuff like that. Like, I don't even eat like that. Like, I was cooking, you know, for the most part. I really didn't eat fast food like that. And I just feel like, you know, everybody pregnancy is different. Some people gain a lot of weight, some people gain a little bit of weight, some, you know, some people don't. So again, I didn't even eat like that. And then I had him. I was able to, like, his first year, I didn't work at anything of him being home. In October 2010, I started working. And my job was like from 4 to 9. So his dad didn't like really cook. Sometimes he would cook, but a lot of times he didn't. So, you know, I would get off at 9 and come home, and you know, a lot of times we would end up ordering fast food. So then, of course, now I'm just coming home, I'm eating and I'm sleeping. So then now I'm, you know, now the weight is coming on, but not like a crazy, but you know, like I remember I went to the doctor, and within like a 2-year period, I had gained like 20 pounds. So it wasn't like I was like, you know, and then sometimes I would, like, cause I now that I realize, like, I would emotionally eat. Like, I kind of realized it before, but I would emotionally eat, and I would go through binge eating phases. Like, when I would get stressed out, when something would happen, or I'd be, you know, going through something, I would go through a binge eating phase, and I would gain weight, you know, like that. But for the most part, once I stopped and I was, you know, on track, I would kind of plateau out. At that job, they had a scale there. I remember they had this big scale because it was a mail service company. One of my favorite jobs. And I weighed myself. And so I was like, from there, I was like, all right, I need to do something about my weight. So I would do like just dance videos, you know, did the eat right thing. Then I would get into it, and then I would stop. After that, my next job was at the post office, and I remember I weighed myself, and I was like 311 pounds. And I remember I was on the phone with my best friend, and I was just crying to her, like, you know, I'm over 300 pounds. Like, I never thought that, you know, that would be me. And, you know, she had just so happened to join this gym, and I automatically joined. My first day, I went. That was one of, like, that gym, going to the gym was like the best time of my life. It was called Fitness Motivators. The owner was Omar of Cut Creators. If you're from Newark, or you've been in Newark, he had multiple shops in Newark, but he's now located in Atlanta, and his son Kyrie, like, he does celebrity. Yeah, but Omar, like, he was he was the best. Like, him and the other trainer Sharif, they like made, and the people there, like, it was like a family environment, and they made coming to the gym fun. Like, he would have to kick me out. Like, I would come and be in there for like 2 hours, and he's like, so I had to go home. And it was easy for me to just get up and get on the bus and, you know, go down there. I would take my son, like, on the weekends, if you know. And I would just get up and go. And I was there every day. Every day I could be there, I was at the gym. I did good, and I lost like a little over 20 pounds, and I remember I plateaued. And I remember I was frustrated one day because I'm like, you know, I'm coming here every day, I'm working hard, I'm eating right, and the weight is just not coming off like I expected it to. And I remember Omar sat and had a heart-to-heart with me, and just, you know, like, gave me words of encouragement. I got up, and because I was crying and everything, and I got up and I just went hard. So eventually the gym closed. I was so sad that the gym closed, and because that's when he moved to Atlanta to open his shops in Atlanta. And from there I was like, who going to a gym to walk on what treadmill? I just been flipping tires and running around and doing all types of stuff, and I'm about to go to a gym and be bored and walk on the treadmill. Like, I was not beat at all. of course, throughout the time, I gain weight. Sometimes you don't even see it; it just happens. So I gained some more weight. In between, then I would do like some more videos, but I really didn't get into working out again until I started working at the airport. When I was working at the airport, I established a routine. I would get up in the morning, drop my kids off, go straight to the gym. I didn't have to be to work until like either at 12 or sometimes later. Because I worked like in the afternoon again, and that was my routine. And I was, losing weight. Did I have a scale? I can't remember if I had a scale then, but I don't remember my weight. Like, I can't remember right now, like how much I weighed during those times. But I did that for a while, and then I ended up getting a new job, my current job, at the schools working on autistic babies. I love my job. So my schedule changed. So now I can't get up and go to the gym because I have my kids, and then, before I was free because they was in school during the day and I had the day, to myself. But now, while they in school, I'm at work in the afternoons. I'm not about to, I have nobody to keep them. So, I didn't really know what to do. So I'm pretty sure sometime in between I gained weight, and then on top of that, I ended up getting the IUD. I honestly believe that the IUD made me gain weight faster than I would have normally have, because I gained weight and then I would stay, and then I would always gain weight in periods. But it seemed like since the IUD, I kind of just gradually kept going up. I started working out again. My mom ended up moving with me, so then I had somebody home with the boys. So I would get up 4:30 in the morning, go to the gym before work, come back home, get ready, and what's the name? So I did that kind of on and off. And then and now with me going through this, I realized I will always stop when I feel like, I guess you could say, I'll plateau, and then I feel like I'm doing this and I'm getting nothing out of it, and that would basically discourage me, and I would just stop going. So that was, and then like I said, with that was kind of the back and forth. That was the last time I kind of remember really actively doing stuff. In between, I would start, stop. And then I did keto. I lost 10 pounds, I think, my first week, and then I just never went back to it. I realized how mental a food addiction is. I honestly never admitted that I had a food addiction, because I always felt like I eat the same way I used to eat, and and sometimes I would eat once, twice a day, but I wasn't eating food that was healthy. So it was just so in my head, I couldn't comprehend that it was, because I would go to periods where I would eat healthy and be fine, but then I stop, and then I'll go back to not eating so good. But this has made me realize that yes, I do have a food addiction. I'm not a snacker. I don't need to eat. I don't, some people crave snacks like cakes and cookies and chips and all that stuff. I'm not that type of food. I want food that tastes good. I always say bread is my worst enemy, because I want a sandwich, or not too big on stuff. I could eat rice, but I don't need rice. My aunt, she's the right person. She'll eat rice with anything. But it was just I want food that I know that's gonna taste good and fill me up, and I feel fulfilled, after eating it. And and it might be I might eat the same thing all the time. So in between, sometimes I would cook, and I would go through fast food phases. But again, I was like eating the same stuff all the time. And then I stopped fast food because I was spending too much money. So when I put my mind to it, I'm like, look, I'm spending all this money on fast food. Like, no, that could be saved to something else. So I would go through phases where I would stop and just be straight cooking. In between there, my aunt got her VSG like 5 years ago, and my cousin, I know she was looking into it at one point, and they brought it up to me, and I was like, nah, no, I'm not doing that. Like, no, like I don't need that. Like, I felt like that was just like too extreme. I felt like, I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna push myself, and that's the last resort for me. That's how I always looked at, possibly getting surgery. Like, I don't need surgery. Like, I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna push myself, and then if I do that, but I never got there. I didn't get to that point. So it was like, what are you doing to yourself? So that was that. Let me look at my notes. I want to stay on track. So that was just basically my workout period up until recently. So in July, like the end of June, the beginning of July, my family went away to Maryland / Virginia, and I was so depressed. Like, I went through a depression. Like, I was depressed. I was upset about my weight. I was upset because I couldn't find clothes to wear on this trip, and I didn't want to be out in public. I felt people was looking at me, and then I was having back pains. Like, when I gained weight, like, I'll be getting these back pains. Like, my back hurts so bad that, like, walking hurts, standing hurts. Like, it would just hurt. And previously, that would be a sign for me that, boom, it's time to go back in the gym. Because I knew I go to the gym 3 days, the back pain is gone. And then if I keep it up, it's, going for even longer. I'm sorry. Brain fart. So, my back was hurting. It was hard for me to walk, and I was just like, look, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the surgery. So when we got back home, I did the consultation online. My doctor is Dr. Sania Majid. She's located in Livingston with the Weight Loss Wellness Center. That's her location. And then I know that she works out at St. Barnabas Hospital in Livingston, New Jersey, where I'll be having my surgery. And then she also works at Overlook Hospital, which is in Summit, New Jersey. I originally wanted to go to Overlook because one of my best friends, he works there, and I wanted to be able to see him, but it's fine. I know a couple of people who went to Overlook when they had their surgeries, different doctors, but I don't know. I just wanted to go there. But St. Barnabas is fine also. Like, that's always one of my top. Like, I don't go to any North hospitals. I always go out. So I made the appointment with her. And we went through the process. But the jump back, before I made my appointment with her. This was this was in July when I made my appointment with her. As soon as I got back, I made the appointment. And my cousin, I was like so frustrated. Like, I'm like, God works in mysterious ways, because everything happens like for a reason. Like, I was trying to use my aunt doctor, and he didn't take my insurance. I have New Jersey Medicaid. They didn't take Medicaid. Then I tried on my coworker, her insurance. She didn't take Medicaid, that doctor's office. And then my cousin, and he just so happened to call me, and I was like ready to I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I don't want to just go to anybody. Like, this is something serious. So I want to go to somebody that's, trusted and well known. So, and I didn't want to go to a hospital with Newark, like, because I don't do Newark hospitals. And my cousin, he called me, and I was like, I'm frustrated. Like, he hung up. I guess he did some research, and he found out. He called me back with the information. I called to make the consultation. So I thank God for him for that. And I just been on it. I looked her up. I looked up her reviews. I looked on her website and everything. So I'm like, all right, like, I'm gonna just go with her. And I saw, like, she's like one of the top bariatric surgeons, like, in New Jersey. So it just made me feel more comfortable with continuing with her. That was that. Okay, so after that, in July, I ended up in the hospital. I was having chest pains, and I texted my aunt, and I was like, my chest hurt, and she was like, call your dad, tell him to take you to the hospital and see what's wrong. And I was like, nah, because I don't like going to the hospital unless something's wrong, and that's not always good. Like, I feel like sometimes that's what's, how people be sick and don't know, because they'll be in pain, but might not think to go to the hospital because they don't, what if it's nothing, and it could be something. So I didn't go. And then I remember she called me later on that day, and I didn't answer the call because I knew she was going to harass me about going. And so the next day, I said, I'll give it to the next day. So I woke up and I felt fine. So I sat at the computer because, I'm doing everything virtual. And by the end of the class, I was having a chest pain again. So I text my aunt. I'm like, I'm having chest pains again. She's like, go to the hospital. So I got myself together, went to the hospital. Went to the hospital. I went to Mountainside Hospital in New Jersey, and they automatically did the EKG. As soon as I came in, they did the EKG. So, but in there, a quick hospital, like you're in the waiting room for most of the time it's empty, but you're in the waiting room like between 5 minutes, 10 minutes. No more than 10 minutes you're in the waiting room, unless it's like something going on or it's a shift change or something. You're like, they're quick, they're good. Straight from triage, they put me in the back. I was in my room for like no more than 5 minutes, and they came in and was like, oh, your EKG is abnormal, so we're gonna admit you. So I'm like, okay. So then now I gotta make phone calls, like, all right, they're gonna keep me in the hospital. I'm calling my dad, calling my aunt, letting them know what's going on. Then I had to do a COVID test. So I had previously had a flu test some years ago because I had ended up with a sinus infection and bronchitis. So the flu test and the COVID test is basically the same thing. So and when they did it, it was uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt. This nurse came in, so I'm like, I wasn't scared because I'm like, all right, well, I did this before, so I'm okay. She jammed them things up my nose so hard, like I wanted to cry. Like I teared up, but it like she just jammed it and was like real hard. And then she had to do each nostril. I was like, wait, just give me a minute. So then before I went up to my room, they did ultrasound on my legs to make sure I didn't have no blood clots. I was fine. And then I went up to my room, and then they put me on heparin, which is a blood thinner. The minute they did that, I just broke down crying, because it was like, girl, like you really, like, my weight had been on my mind. Like, you let yourself get to this point where that now you're in the hospital because your heart ain't right. So it was scary. So the next day they did an EKG. It was still abnormal. So then they ended up telling me that they had to do a cardiac catheterization. So basically with the cardiac catheterization, they take a needle, a big needle. They numb you first, and they sedate you. Like you just feel like you just like super high, like, and calm at the same time. So they put a needle in your groin, and they stick like this tube all the way up in your main artery and up into your heart, and then it releases like ink, and while it's doing that, they take pictures of your heart to see the blood flow, to see if you have any blockages or anything. So excuse me, they do like to see if you have any blockages or anything. So come to find out, I had a very small blockage at an end of an artery, to where they was like, it's nothing they could really do about it. They put me on high blood, because my blood pressure was like high. It wasn't super high, but it was high. And They put me on aspirin, they put me on high blood pressure medication, and they put me on cholesterol medication. And then when I went to see my follow up with my cardiologist, I told him that I made the appointment to get. So I made the appointment. I had already had an appointment in place to get surgery. And that, so he automatically just gave me clearance for my follow up. So then I had my appointment with my surgeon on August 6th of 2020. So when I had the appointment with her, she let me know that I would have to. She wanted me to do 6 months of a weight loss program. She called it the Lose the Life program. That I did have to pay for, where I met with the nutritionist every other week. I did food logs, and and what else? And I had to change my eating habits and stuff, basically. That's when I started on a Premier Protein shake. So I went out and went Premier Protein crazy, for a whole bunch. Every time, and then ShopRite, it's a ShopRite up here. If if you're from Jersey, you know what ShopRite is, or maybe even close, the Tri-State area. But I know, from talking to my friends from down south, they don't have a ShopRite. So they would have a sale where you get 3 of the cases of 4 for $20. It was $19.99. So every time I would see her, I was just racking up. So and then they made appointment for me to get my endoscopy, to meet with the dietitian, and to meet with my psychologist in November. And then she also told me I had to get pulmonology clearance. I already had my cardiac clearance, and I had to get clearance from my primary care. So as soon as we got the phone, and I had to do the sleep apnea test. So as soon as we got the phone, and the upper GI, which is the barium swallow. So as soon as I got the phone, I started making appointments to get that done. So my appointment for the upper GI was I think August 18th, and then the appointment for the sleep study was August 12th or something like that. So for the upper GI, all you do is they give you this barium, which is a chalky substance. They mix it and you gotta swallow it. And what they do is take x-rays to see how your intestines and your stomach ingests everything, because it runs straight through. And it also helps determine if you have a hiatal hernia, which is when part of your stomach comes up into your esophagus. And it also determines if you have acid reflux. So I had a little bit of acid reflux, which I kind of felt I would have, because when I was having them chest pains, I kept feeling I had to burp. I felt within those past couple of days, I felt like something was wrong. And then I made the appointment for my sleep study test. So from August to September, and then she also asked me, she was how much weight could you lose each month? And I was 15 pounds. I'm is that too much? She made it up to me. And then another thing I loved was that, I'm always very about the whole BMI index, because I feel everybody is different. Everybody's body is different. And she asked me what is my weight, my goal weight, and I told her 200, 180, because I feel like that's how much I weighed before. But for me, it's not so much as the number, is more so the size. I would like to go back to a size 14, maybe even a size 12. I was never a skinny girl. I don't hope that I don't be skinny, I would look sick. That's how I feel. But I was always, in a sense, proportionate for my size to be a size 14. So that was just my average size. And I just she didn't say, well, you need to be, 135 pounds based off of your height and age and all that. So I appreciated that. So then that first month I met with her again. Well, no, after that I met with her physician assistant, Dr. Liz, for, that was August, September, and I was down 10 pounds. And from there, hold on, let me look at my notes. From there, they just, continue everything, sending my food logs and everything. So September 11th, no, and then that's when she also told me that I had to see a pulmonologist. So I thought the pulmonologist and the sleep study doctor, I thought it was the same. So I saw the sleep study doctor, who is a pulmonologist, but then I had to see a separate one to get clearance. So my appointment was September 11th for me to see the pulmonologist, but that was also the day of my sleep study test. So when I went to see and this is one thing that I feel like they told me what I needed to do, but some stuff they needed to break down a little bit more. So my aunt, I remember her asking me, like, with me doing a sleep study test, and she was like, you don't need to see the pulmonologist first? And so I'm like, no, I'm just, this is what they didn't say, anything. And then it didn't make sense to me until I saw the pulmonologist, and he was like, he was like, oh, I'll send you for the sleep study test. I'm like, oh, actually I have a sleep study test, it just happened to be that same day, that night. And he was like, so what are you seeing me for? I said, I just found out that I need clearance from a separate pulmonologist. And so that's why I'm here to see you. And he was like, all right, so do the sleep study test and bring me the results, and I'll give you clearance. And I felt that kind of like, and I apologized because, they didn't explain that to me, that I should see a pulmonologist first who will send me to the sleep study test. But then the sleep study pulmonologist, he didn't say nothing either. But I think that's because he has a partnership with my surgeon. So, like they correspond with one another. So I didn't think, like, he probably didn't, think nothing of it. So that was that. Did my sleep study test. I thought I would have had sleep apnea, but I didn't have it. And that was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I was able to fall asleep right away. The technician who was there, he was cool. He talked to me the whole time. He was a little rough with like putting things in my head because I had butterfly locks in. So like, they have to clean like your scalp and then like stick the stuff on so that they'll stay and stuff. So he was a little rough, but he was all right. He was cool. It wasn't bad. I woke up like 4 o'clock in the morning. He asked me, could I, go fall back to sleep, or did I want to leave? He said he felt like he had enough, data, and I was like, I'll just go home. So I got up and I went home, and that was that. November was the month that November tried me. So not even the beginning of November, something else happened, and it started off my November bad. That was outside of my whole VSG experience. And then November, but still everything was still going smooth. For the second, I had a COVID test to get my endoscopy on the 5th. On the 3rd, I was meeting with my dietitian, who just so happened, I thought the dietitian was going to be somebody separate, but it was the nutritionist that I had been speaking with the whole time. And all we did was just go over the pre-op packet that they give you when you do your pre-op class. So we just went over that. He quizzed me a little bit, like, well, when are you gonna have to be on a liquid diet, or when you gonna be in your liquid stage, or when you gonna be on your full liquid, like that. So so that was quick and easy. And then I also saw my psychologist, I believe, November 10th. But then also, when I had my meeting with Dr. Liz again in November, that's when she told me, she was like, have we talked about your IUD? And I'm like, you asked me if I had it before, but no. But I feel like we probably didn't talk about it because I was supposed to do 6 months. Oh, and because she decided that she decided when I talked to her, she was like, let me call a doctor to see, since you've been losing weight and stuff, to see if we could push your surgery up. So she called Dr. Majid, and it was like, all right, we could push it up. So then she was like, okay, so you have to have your IUD removed. I'm like, all right. So from there, we scheduled my surgery date for December 2nd. In between that week, so I got my endoscopy done, I got the COVID test done, I met with my psychologist, and then also that same week that I met with the psychologist, the 9th, I made an appointment to go to Planned Parenthood, because that's why I got my IUD inserted at, to get it removed. Long story short, they couldn't get out. It was stuck. When she tried to take it out, the strings broke. So then they had me come back, because they were supposed to do like try to guide it out via ultrasound. Like she was going to do the ultrasound, the doctor was going to take it out. She didn't do the ultrasound. So like she wasn't ultrasounding, and he was trying to take it out, and he's just sticking it hurt so bad. I wanted to jump off that table. And I was just like, ow, ow, like just screaming, like in so much pain. And it was like, and then I'm like, y'all should have numbed somebody for this. Like, you don't just go, like, they just had me take, I think it was like Advil or something. And I'm like, no, like that's so painful that you just tell somebody to take some freaking Advil for, like, and you didn't even do what you said you was going to do. So after that, they was like, they was going to refer me to a doctor, but they didn't even do that. He was like, oh, look on the back of your insurance card and find a doctor who could do a DNC, basically, to remove this IUD. So DNC is kind of like what some people do when they have to get abortion, or sometimes they do it if they if something is wrong and they just take everything out of your uterus. So then it was a hassle of, finding a doctor that would be able to do that. So that was that. That was like really aggravating, just, going back and forth, needing this removed, because they like, oh, it's supposed to be out in a month. So that stressed me out. And then I finally found a doctor. Well, I found a doctor, and she referred me to someone else, and which was fine. And I'll talk about that like in a few. So, I went away on November 19th. I went away. My birthday was November 23rd. So November 19th to the 22nd, I went away. I went down to close to Atlantic City and stayed in a village just to get away, because I was so stressed out. Like, I just needed to get away. Like, I'm in school. So I'm in school. I'm trying to get all this stuff together. Now things not going right. And so now I'm freaking out. So I just needed to get away. So on the 19th, I met with my surgeon. Because it was like my surgery was the next week. So it was like the final meeting with her before surgery. And she was saying that she needed clearance from my primary care. Now, I thought I had already got clearance from my primary care and that they sent it over. No, kind of found out from when I did my pre-op testing, which is basically getting the EKG of blood work. And they do a chest x-ray. That information I had to take to, and that was something else they didn't fully explain to me, like the steps that needed to be taken or whatever, because they was like, oh, you're going to do this and then you're going to get final clearance from your primary. They didn't say, oh, you have to take these papers to your primary and get clearance, or that they're going to send the papers to the primary and get clearance. So she was like, you have to meet with your primary and get final clearance, and then it's a go from there. So I call my doctor's office. So at this point, I'm still thinking that I'm cleared. So I'm calling them like, oh, my doctor gave me clearance. Can y'all send it over or whatever? And they're like, oh, it's nothing in here or whatever. So basically they explained to me that I had to come in, see the doctor, and then she's going to do a final clearance. So that appointment was made on November 23rd, and I came back the 22nd. So that Monday, the 22nd was a Sunday. So that Monday, I go to the doctor. I didn't have no papers or nothing. They're like, oh, where's the paperwork? So now I am calling my surgeon's office, and I'm like, they say they need paperwork, because again, nobody fully explained to me that I needed to bring in paperwork. I'm just, going off of the basic information that they telling me. I go in, eventually we get the paperwork faxed over, so then my primary, she sees my EKG and she's like, oh, your EKG is abnormal, but my surgeon didn't say that it was abnormal. So I didn't, and so she was like, just to be on the safe side, I want you to see your cardiologist again. I said, all right. Call the cardiologist. I explained to them, I'm having surgery next week. I just met with my primary care. Can you see if the cardiologist can squeeze me in to see me, or if I can fax this over to y'all so he could look at my EKG and see if everything is all right, because my primary was saying she don't have nothing to compare it to, because the only other time I had an EKG was when I was in the hospital in July. So immediately it was like, oh, we don't have nothing till December. And I was like, like the middle of December. And I was like, I have surgery. Can you just see like if he can push me in or squeeze me in somewhere? So she was like, all right, we'll call you back. She called back the next day. She was like, unfortunately, he can't see you until December 16th. So now my surgery is about to be canceled because I don't have clearance from my primary. And so I called my, as soon as they called and told me, I called my surgeon's office and I left a message with them like, can you relay the message to, Dr. Majid and Dr. Liz that, my primary won't see me till December, so my surgery might have to be pushed back. Somehow it got lost and nobody said nothing to them. I just had to call that Friday and I was like, to speak to Dr. Liz. I'm like, did they tell you, about what happened with my my clearance? And she was like, no. So I explained to her. So she was like, give me the number to your cardiologist, and I'll try to reach out to them. And she tried to reach out, and I think either she didn't hear back from them. I think she didn't hear back from them. So she was like, all right, we're just gonna, push everything out. So from there, we pushed everything to February. I think it was like February 2nd. I was supposed to get surgery. So we pushed to February 2nd. And I made an appointment to see her again in December after I saw the cardiologist. Once it got canceled, all the hope, and because with everything I was going through in November, I was so hopeful, I'm about to have my surgery. It kept me so level-headed, it kept me focused. But now that it was gone, it was my little feelings was hurt, and that happiness I had, and I started telling people and was more vocal about it, and then it didn't happen, and it just threw me off completely. I was just so sad. I wouldn't say depressed, but I wasn't excited in the moment about it again. I didn't want to not do it anymore, but I was just so over it. I was over it. So I met with the cardiologist, which was a waste of time, basically, because they did my vitals, of course, and then he looked at the EKG and he pulled up my own working computer and he said, this is exactly the same. So you telling me, sir, that you couldn't take 5 minutes in between an appointment to do that and just fax over a whole nother letter for me, just to, but that's neither here nor there. So the way to look at it in a positive way, I got to, celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving with my family and not have to worry about not being able to eat because we go away. The same place that I went for my birthday, we went away for Christmas. We've been doing that for the past 3 years. And my whole family goes down. So it'd be cool. It'd be fun. So I got to, do that, and I had to worry about, being in pain or, eating restrictions or anything like that. I did gain some weight back. Just keeping it a buck, I gained some weight back. And I didn't work out at all. I did a couple of times, but not how I was working out. And so I was all right, came back, new year, let's jump back to it. So I had a plan in motion, all right, January, go hard for January, for February. So I was supposed to start my liquid diet on January 20th, and I ended up getting a call about a week and a half ago. Because this is the last week. So like a week ago, I ended up getting a call from Dr. Liz, and she was like, actually no, before that I spoke to her, and when we spoke, she was like that my new surgery date was now going to be February 10th. And I think that was because they alternate between the two hospitals on different weeks, and I think the week that they had me scheduled, I would have been like scheduled for Overlook, and everything was already, I was supposed to be at St. Barnabas, so I think that's why that switched. So that was fine. And then she called me on a Thursday. I forgot. I can't think of it. I don't want to pause the video. But she called me and she was like, Miss Palmer, she was like, I understand, we talked before, and she was saying if you could, to push your surgery date. And she was like, we have an open for January 20th. And she was like, do you want to take it? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, just let me see. I'm like, because I was supposed to have an appointment with my primary care to do my final clearance on the 21st. I was like, let me talk to my primary care to see if she could do my clearance. I'm like, because I just gave them, I went up there and I gave them my cardiac clearance because that's all she needed to clear me. I was like, let me see if she can push that through so that, and I don't want to say yes right now and, it doesn't work out. So part of me was like, no, should I do it? Because, I knew I had gained some weight and I wanted to, I knew I had gained some weight back. I wanted to get that back down. And I already had this schedule in my head of how, things was going to go for February. Overnight, I thought about it. I ended up contacting my doctor. I ended up getting clearance the next day with no problems. I was a little hiccup. I was nervous for a minute because it was like the doctor was going to be out for 2 weeks, and it was a confusion, as far as what they sent over. And so I was nervous for a second, but everything worked out. I got my clearance, and everything is a go now. So it's 4 more days. Yeah, 4 more days, and I'll be getting my surgery Monday. I'll be doing my COVID test. Now I'm hoping this time it's not bad. So when I got my COVID test for my endoscopy, that one wasn't bad. That one, the lady was very gentle. She took her time. It was uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt. But when I got it done, even though I wasn't getting my surgery December 2nd, I still went and did the COVID test. Just why not do a COVID test? Because I had just be out and going places, not too many places, but like to the store and stuff, and you just never know where you get it. And that lady, that she stuck that thing, and I'm like moving my head as she just like doing it with no control. Like I feel like the best, like they need to hold it with control and like just gentle, like they don't be thinking about none of that. So it all depends on the person. So I'm hoping when I go Monday to get my COVID test that this person is very, very gentle with me, because I cannot. I don't want it. And I met with my doctor yesterday. Everything is a go. I just got to switch out one of my medications and pick up my main pain meds on Monday. And I immediately started my liquid diet that Friday after she called me. And everything is a go. So that has been, what I've been dealing with up to now. I'm back excited again. And I was been back excited before they changed the date. Like I had put myself in that mindset because, I was like, I needed the motivation to get up and go to the gym, because I was like going like to the gym every morning. I'd get up at 4, and my kids are older now, so they're, fine. The gym is not that far, like from where I live. So I get up 4:30. I'm in the gym before gym open at 6. So I'm up at 4:30, give myself time to, get myself ready. I'm at the gym by 6. And right now I've just been kind of more so just doing elliptical because I've been trying to like take care of stuff or whatever. But before, that's what I'm saying, I was going hard before, like in November, I was in it for like 2 hours, like just going hard. So I'm getting that same gym motivation back, especially because I'm gonna need it for after, for like the strength training. And I know that's one thing I'm gonna like really, sometimes I'm the type of person where I need direction, I need a schedule. Like was one reason why when I went to the gym I was going to, because it came in and Omar was like, you want to do this. Like, I need that structure. So if I'm in the gym, I know I'm going to do the elliptical for 40 minutes, but then what machines do I do? Like, I want a routine basically. So I was working out with my cousin. I think I'm gonna go back to working out with him, because I want to, you know, get my strength training going and stuff. So that's really it. I know this has been a long video, and I don't want to make it too much longer. So don't forget to like, comment, to subscribe, and throw in any ideas, any questions, or anything. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And again, I hope you enjoyed this and continue to rock with me through this whole experience. And just thank you. All right, loves, until next time.